Members, it's time and we have a quorum. Item 1 on the agenda, confirmation of the minutes of the 14th meeting held on the 24th of January 2014. The minutes have been forwarded to members. Can we confirm the minutes, please? Thank you. Matters rising. My meeting with the Chief Secretary for Administration, nothing to report. Legal Service Division report on subsidiary legislation gazetted on the 30th of January 2014. Legal advisor, please. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That is paper number LS25. There are two items in the report. Both are commencement notices, and both are to be made by the Director General of Civil Aviation. In November, a subcommittee was set up to look at two pieces of subsidiary legislation, and these commencement notices on the two pieces of subsidiary legislation is to appoint the day as the 11th of April 2014, and both have to do with the air navigation of dangerous goods. I have nothing else to add. Members, do you wish to set up a subcommittee? No? Then the deadline for making amendment is the 26th of February. Business for the Council meeting of the 12th, 13th and 14th February 2014. Hon Cyd HO will move a proposed resolution under Section 34(4) of the Interpretation and General Clauses Ordinance Cap 1 in relation to the Air Pollution Control Marine Light Diesel Regulation. This is to extend it that's to extend the scrutiny period. And then I will move a motion of thanks as the Chairman of the House Committee. Business for the Council meeting of the 19th of February 2014. Questions, 6 oral questions and 16 not written questions. Both first reading and moving second reading, no notice has been received. Government motion, no notice has been received. Members' motions, Mr. Ma Fung Kwok is to move a motion on the formulation of long-term sports policy. And there's another motion on encouraging the return of the industrial sector for development to make Hong Kong's industries more diversified, to be moved on Mr. Felix Chung. The deadline for giving notice of amendments for the two motions is the 12th of February. Report of House Committee on consideration of subsidiary legislation. There is a list of 8 items. The period for amendment of which will expire on the 18th has been tabled. 19th of February has been tabled. If you wish to indicate your intention to speak, please do so by midnight on Thursday, the 11th of February. Reports of Bills Committees and Subcommittees. Report of the Bills Committee on Stamp Duty Amendment Bill 2012. Ms. Dari Lee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Bills Committee held 21 meetings to discuss the bill with the administration and to receive views from deputations and individuals. The deliberations of the Bills Committee are detailed in a written report. In the course of deliberations, major issues of particular concern expressed by members include the effectiveness of demand-side management measures in curbing speculative activities and reining in the exuberance of the residential property market, impact of these measures on the business environment and the reputation of Hong Kong as a free economy, the constitutionality of the special stamp duty SSD and bias stamp duty BSD, application and exemption of BSD, future adjustment mechanism for SSD and BSD rates, and the need or otherwise for a sunset clause in the bill. Members have divergent views on these issues. After deliberations, the Bills Committee agreed that I, as Chairman, would move committee stage amendments, CSAs, proposed by Mr. Tommy Cheung, Mr. Abraham Sheikh, Mr. Andrew Leung, and Mr. Kenneth Leung on behalf of the Bills Committee. The CSAs cover various issues, including granting exemption to companies owned by Hong Kong permanent residents, HKPRs, from paying BSD, or upon meeting certain conditions, refund of BSD, a sunset clause on demand-side management measures, and the introduction of the domicile concept to the definition of HKPRs to the effect that only those HKPRs domiciled in Hong Kong will be exempted from BSD. The Bills Committee notes that Mr. James To will be moving CSAs to propose exempting eligible charitable institutions or trusts from BSD, require the adjustments to SSD and BSD rates be subject to positive vetting by the Legislative Council, or be made by way of a resolution of LegCo, and tighten up the proposed BSD exemption arrangement for mentally incapacitated persons. Mr. Tynus Kwok has indicated his intention to propose CSAs to the effect that BSD exemption should apply to property acquisitions made by HKPR minors through their trustees or guardians before the passage of the bill. The Bills Committee notes the CSAs to be moved by the administration. Mrs. Regina Yip's proposed CSA to remove the BSD exemption for acquisition of residential properties made on behalf of HKPR minors. The administration has finally agreed to take it over. So the administration is going to move a number of CSAs. Some members hold a different view on the CSA. The Bills Committee does not object to the resumption of a second reading debate on the bill at the Council meeting on the 19th of February 2014. If I may remind members, notice for giving notice for amendments would be the 10th of February, next Monday. Next report of the Subcommittee on Antiquities and Monuments, Decoration of Historical Buildings, number 2, notice 2013. Mr. Gary Fan, please.
Mr. Chairman, members, the subcommittee has completed its scrutiny work and will later submit a written report. The main purpose of the notice is to declare Fat Tat Tong in Shat Hau Kok and Tat Tak Communal Hall in Pengshan, Yuen Long as historical buildings. The subcommittee supports the administration's proposal to provide statutory protection to these two buildings of significant historical and heritage value. In the scrutiny process, members noted that Fat Tat Tong would be the first monument in Hong Kong that is still being used as a residence, and that the administration planned to use public money to repair the building. Members were concerned about the arrangements for opening the building in future for public visits and how the administration would ensure the building owners abide by the arrangements concerned. Members were also concerned that the Antiquities and Monuments Ordinance only preserves a particular building and fails to consider the planning of the neighborhood of monuments and historical buildings so as to match the development of the whole area. Besides, the government also lacks a coordinating department. Some members pointed out that in 2004, the administration consulted the public on the point-line-plane approach in heritage conservation. The subcommittee opined that the administration should adopt the point-line-plane approach and extend the scope of conservation from one heritage building to streets and areas with special features. The subcommittee urged the CS for administration to coordinate relevant bureaus and departments and formulate a more perfect set of conservation policies for heritage buildings and enhance related work. The subcommittee would like the House Committee Chairman, Mr. Leung, to relay members' views to the CS for administration. The subcommittee will not move any amendment to the notice. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. As the Chairman of the House Committee, the subcommittee would like me to pass on the views of the subcommittee to the Chief Secretary. Well, Antiquities and Monuments Conservation, that comes under the Home Affairs Bureau. So perhaps, or rather it comes under the purview of the Development Panel. So perhaps it's better for the matter to be referred to the Development Panel for follow-up, because I'm not on the panel. I can't really pass on your views. So if I remind members, the deadline for amending the notice is the 26th of February. The deadline for giving notice of amendments is the 19th of February. Position of Bills Committees and Subcommittees. As at the 6th of February, Thursday, there are 8 Bills Committees, 6 committees under House Committee, 8 subcommittees on policy issues under Panels in Action. 4 subcommittees on policy issues are on the waiting list. There's nothing else under AOB. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.